really have had trouble getting the live stream to kick in lately. The link, it's not broken. It's just very high quality or something. I don't know if it's ads popping up and creating interference. Got it going. Okay. Just real quickly, I did see, look, I'm assuming it's Brody. Did we hear from the, oh, he's in, Ryan's in. I have no idea, but I think Melissa did talk to him, and apparently both he and the significant other, they were both afflicted. She said she could hear her also in the background. That's kind of.
I'll just hope I see things.
Ooh. Yeah, he did not feel well. We were, of course, all hanging out. But, you know, it happens. I'm no longer stressed about that. Just take it as it comes. Here comes everyone. Good morning. I'm Judge Person, and I did want to start with just a quick apology of the technical problems I was having. We're getting a little late start, so I do appreciate your patience, and I do respect your time. I want to just give some basic information, and there will be people who are connecting their audio, and sometimes there's a little lag, so I tend to be a little repetitive for just the first couple of minutes. One thing I do at the beginning of every meeting is just make sure I know who's here, in part because we want to have the right files. So there is a person identified as Motorola Moto G Stylus, and I just sent you an unmute request. If you could unmute and just give me your full name, that would be very helpful.
Christina Everett.
Good morning, Miss Everett, and thank you. I'm going to change your name on the screen. It won't change it permanently for you.
Okay.
It will just change it in the for this meeting.
Okay, thank you.
And I had another one. Let's see. It was Zoom user. Let me find it. Yes. Hi, Zoom user. Can you unmute and tell me your name?
Moin.
Yes. Again, please.
Moin Alicia. M-O-I.
I see. Here you are. Thank you, Mr. Alicia. Alchia.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And again, just for the meeting, I'm going to change the name so that I don't lose track of you. And then I had a phone caller. If you're on the telephone, 254 ending in 785, I just sent you a unmute request. Could you unmute and just tell me your name? Phone caller, are you there?
Devisalo.
Again?
Devisalo.
Devisalo, gotcha. Okay, ma'am, just pay attention to your phone. It's not unusual for a person on a phone call to get just a little bit to the point where they don't hear the meeting. And, you know, I want you to, when I call your name, I'll expect you to hear me, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'm going to go back to mute. Okay, so for everyone, I want to let you know a couple of things that I think really will help you understand options here at the court. So when you are given a ticket.
Hello, I'm sorry.
you're fine, but I'm going to keep everybody muted, Mr. Lewis, because I'm just going to go through kind of what I call the 101. When you're given a ticket or issued a citation, those are all methods we have under the law for accusing someone. That is what a ticket is. It's an accusation. When you give a plea, you're giving an answer or a response to that accusation. And there are three options for pleading: guilty, not guilty, and no contest. If you plead guilty, you're admitting the offense. You're saying, I did this. And, we move that case will move into sentencing. And I'll talk to you more about sentencing options in a moment. If you plead no contest, you're saying, I'm not contesting it, not admitting it, I'm not contesting it. I just want to move forward with sentencing. Pleading no contest will move that case again into sentencing. And I'll talk about those options in just a moment. If you plead not guilty, you're just maintaining your innocence like the law provides. You are moving that case, though, toward trial, because once you plead not guilty, you're asking the state to meet their burden of proof to prove that case in trial. So not guilty really means set my case for trial, okay, in effect. So when you plead not guilty, we move that to a pretrial online because it's convenient, and that's meeting today. There is a final pretrial, which would be scheduled next. And that's a pretty quick meeting that we do one day just to kind of get in the court and sort of lay out, orient to it and set a bond, set up the type of trial, do a scheduling order, okay? And then we schedule that case for trial. So there's a process that we follow on that, and people get confused about it. So I want you to understand there's a pretrial here online, a quick one in the court, and then a final trial on pleading not guilty. Okay, so that's kind of the effect of the various pleas that are available, those three pleas. Now, if you're being sentenced by the court, normally the item goes on your record and you pay the fines and costs. A word about payment. I did ask for everyone's income information. The reason I do that is not because I presume you're guilty. It's because it's just quicker and more efficient to get everything that we might need on a case all at once so that you're not routinely getting hit with more and more requests. That's one thing. The other is if you're pleading guilty or no contest, I need it for sentencing. If you're pleading not guilty, I need it to schedule and set your bond. So again, I'm just trying to get the same information. I use it various ways. Okay. The next thing I want to say about that is payment plans are available. If you pay a ticket within 30 days, it's less expensive because there's a mandatory fee that gets added by state law at the 31st day. So I start seeing if you can do that. If you can't, if you need a longer plan, we can work on that. But I'm asking because I actually presume people want to save money because that would be me. I would be that way. So I make some basic assumptions about folks. One is they want things to be as efficient as possible. Two is that they'd like to save money. Three is that some people can't pay and I need to look at that. And then four is that some people have concerns about their record. And if those aren't your concerns, you need to let me know because those are most people's concerns and we're all different. And, you can take those four concerns and some people have the fourth one as their number one and the other, we are people, we are different, and I will look and make adjustments as I can, especially with the information I've been given. Okay. I can't take into account anything I don't know, obviously, but still it's worth saying. So again, I make those assumptions. I do ask for the information. In some cases, I mandate the information. Okay. So just be aware, I'll be kind of trying to see if I can get you where I think you're trying to go with the information you've provided to me. Another thing about income and payment is that there are times where people cannot make payment. And I do take that into consideration and I make adjustments accordingly. Okay. And that's one of the reasons you might be here today. I've looked at all the files. I think I've got a few people that I need to have that conversation with. And that's very normal. So we'll be doing some of that as well. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is your record. And I want to let you know in a Class C court, which is what this is, Class C courts are a little bit different from Class B, Class A, and felony courts and federal courts. Class C courts are state courts by state law. We are state courts. However, we only handle Class C offenses. What makes us different? Well, there's many things, but the most important one is that I would say 99% of us represent ourselves in a court like this one. There's a lot of reasons for that, okay? Probably the driving factor is you pay a lawyer more than the cost of your ticket. We do get lawyers here and they're welcome, but I assume most people would like this explanation, okay? Because they don't have legal advice. Now, I can't give you legal advice. The law doesn't let me do that. And the prosecutor who's here today for the not guilty docket, we'll talk about that in a minute. He can't give you legal advice either. However, what I will tell you is if you ask me a question and it's one I can't answer because it's legal advice, I'll tell you, okay? So don't be nervous about your questions. Sometimes people are nervous to ask questions and they're worried it's not a good question. And then I tell them I can't give legal advice and they get more worried about it. I'll let you know if it's something I can't answer, I'll just tell you, okay? It's not, don't stress, okay? Try to take a deep breath. The other thing is, but I can tell you how things move through a court, okay? And actually I'm supposed to. So just real quickly, if you plead guilty or no contest, like I said, it goes on your record, you pay it. That's the general rule. The funny thing about law is that there's always a rule and a bunch of exceptions, okay? Right? You've probably heard that on TV and things like that. So the 4 ways to keep an item off your record that I have available from the bench. Listen up because here's what they are, okay? Compliance dismissals, driver safety courses, deferred dispositions, and teen court. Now, let me just tell you what those mean pretty quickly. Compliance dismissals are things that the law says can be brought up to date and dismissed. Each one has a set of details that you have to meet in order to get that dismissal. I don't expect you to know that, and the law says the judge shall, meaning I'm supposed to go through those, okay? So I will walk you through those. Sorry, someone's coming into the meeting and I don't know who they are, so I'll work on that in a moment. The second thing, let me let them in. The second thing I mentioned was driver safety course options. Driver safety course options are for moving violations. They, again, have a set of details that you have to meet in order to get into the program, and then a set of details that you have to meet to get the case dismissed. Okay, so if you're moving into that program, pay attention to the details. They'll all be in writing, okay? So read everything carefully and make sure you understand. And if you don't, ask me or ask the clerk, okay? Because we can definitely explain to you what that paperwork says, okay? After you read it and have questions, we can talk to you about it, okay? Now, just a word about that, the driver safety course option. It's for moving violations, Texas residents or military dependent active, okay? And then the other, or former actually, and then you can't have a CDL, okay? First of all, you have to be on time. And then you pay the court costs. Now, let me talk about money for a minute. It's not anyone's favorite subject. Right now, everybody's always working with their budget, but it's kind of intense, it can be. So the driver safety course option, every ticket, when you call a clerk and go, how much is this ticket? They'll say X dollars, okay? That is the whole number. And you can break that number down a lot of ways, and I don't want to bore you with the details on that because it's kind of dry. But everything has a court cost and a fine in that number. And court costs are set by the Texas legislature, and I cannot change those because I am not the Texas legislature, and they never ask me what I want them to do with that. The fine is the judge's decision, okay? There's a range, and I set it. In the driver safety course option, you pay the court costs because I can't get rid of them because the legislature doesn't let me, okay? And the fine goes on hold. You turn in your course on time, the right course. You turn in your record on time, the right record. You get your case dismissed, and that fine gets waived. You don't pay it if you do everything correctly, okay? So a lesson about that is you got to stay on time, one. Two, and this is the kind of maybe the number one lesson, is that you save money. It's cheaper to take the class, get your record, pay your court costs than to pay your whole ticket. And there's actually a logic reason, which I like when the law is logical. And the logic reason is that we actually know from every study that's ever been conducted, it's very conclusive. And that is that if you get a ticket, you move into the highest bracket of death and dismemberment on the roadways. And folks, Texas, it's a number one we're not proud of, okay? If you're 25 and under, you're in the highest risk bracket to die on the roadway. If you get a ticket with an accident, you're in the super group, okay? And this statistic is true irregardless of whether a person is ultimately considered guilty or not of their offense, okay? So just be aware of that. It's a safety issue. The city actually does a take nothing on that because we send all those court costs to the Texas bank, basically, right? We send it to Austin. It doesn't stay here. When you pay court costs, they go to Austin. When you pay fines, they stay here, not to the court and not to the PD, to the roads, the streets, the sidewalks, the emergency responses, okay, like the fire department, for example. So that's a little 101 of how that works. But the notable thing is you save money and you keep it off your record. And remember, I said there are probably 4 things people care about. It's right up there, okay? So driving safety course, what you can expect from me as the judge of the court is that I will look and see if you're qualified and see if you want to do it, okay? If I'm not asking you about it, it's because I don't think you're qualified. If you have questions about it, just ask me, okay? I'm moving quickly because I want people to not, I want people to get through here quickly. I know nobody woke up just excited, but I need to do what I need to do with folks, of course, but I'm trying to be efficient with your time as well. So I'm trying to strike that balance of due regard for each person's matter and being efficient. Remember, top 4. Okay, so talk to me if you have concerns, issues, or questions, okay? And everybody will have their turn. And I did look at when people logged in and I kept track of that because if you were here in the court, you'd be standing in a line. And this is a little more enjoyable because you're not standing in the court in a line, but I consider it a line anyway, okay? So that's the number 2 way to gain a dismissal if you do it properly and you qualify. And those first 2, I'm walking you kind of through the process. A deferred disposition is a delay of the finding of guilt. Deferred means make a delay. Disposition means to make it final. I delay making the case final, and I put an order in place, and that order will be in writing with a list of things for you to do to gain a dismissal, okay? And those will be checked off on a document that you sign. Sometimes the prosecutor signs, and I always have to sign too. And we all agree what's going to happen is these listed things are going to go forward and happen, or you'll get convicted, right? So it's an agreement with a known outcome. What you want to know today is, how do I get that? And the answer is, you asked, right? So the reason why that might seem like a duh point is that if you leave a Class C court and go into any other type of court, you can't ask the judge. You can only ask the prosecutor. Here, there's a small handful of things that are like that, but most of the things here, 99% or more, you can ask the judge directly. That is the law. The way that you do that is guilty or no contest. I'd like a deferred. Okay. It's very simple. If you forgot the word, just tell me, what's that number 3 option again? Okay. Because I always put it third in the discussion. All right. But you must request it. I'm not supposed to ask you. Okay. And it was on the paperwork, and some people did in fact check it, but some people looked at it and didn't know what it was. And now you know what it is. And so if you need to ask me before I accept your plea, then we do that. If you've already entered a plea, and there are cases on the docket that are like that today, and we've already had a finding of guilt, I can't retroactively back into it. Okay. There's a point of no return. If you didn't know, you didn't know. I'm not legally required to make sure you know, but if you log in and on your court date, or you talk to a clerk, we give you that information. Okay, so that's the third option. The fourth option is teen court. folks who qualify, I'm automatically going to be trying to push you into that program because it's effective, because it places responsibility on the responsible party and not the parent. We like to have parents' involvement if they're available. If you are under 17, we have to have them with us on the process. If you're not, and you're still a teen or you qualify for teen court, well, I'll just take those one at a time. Okay. So that's the 101. Remember I said 4 ways to gain a dismissal? That's the 4 ways. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is start the pretrial docket. And Mr. Matson, today, Lauren Coltharp is your first person. And Ms. Coltharp, you logged in first on that docket. We are going to move you and Mr. Matson into the pretrial docket room. That's just a breakout room. And y'all will have a discussion. Miney doesn't represent you. He represents actually the officer that filed the case. However, he will talk with you and you can, he and you will both be evaluating the case. And then I'll just come back and see, y'all will come back in this room at the end and let me know where the case is heading. Okay. So we'll get that real quickly. And I'm sending you over there as well. I got to find you in my list. There you go. And then you'll come back in. So there we go. And then I am going to start by talking to Brody Cook. If Mr. Cook, you need to get on screen if you can and unmute. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm very well. Thank you for asking. And I'm just making small talk while I pull your file.
Yes.
How are you, ma'am?
Good, thank you.
Oh, your mom, right?
Yes,
Okay. And can I get your name?
Allison Cook.
Allison Cook. Thank you, ma'am. Oh yeah, I saw you logged in as Allison Cook at first. And I thought that's got to be them. Okay, so I did review your file and your case and your paperwork, okay? And first, Brody, I want to ask, did you understand the discussion about the meetings and the direction of guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I did receive your plea of guilty to the offense of speeding and a request for teen court, which I will grant. But before I do that, let me ask, is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so with teen court right now, what we're doing, we're about to transition into teen court at the high school, which is a program we have, and it's really fun. But right now, what we're doing is directly from the bench teen court. And there is a $20 cash fee that gets paid into the teen court fund. Can you pay that fee today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And y'all are actually going to come by the court sometime today to finalize your paperwork, get copies, and get a receipt for that fee. And then you would have a driving safety course due by August 30th. And again, we're going to put it in writing and give you some information about how to find a course. It can be a course online. It can be a course about town, but you'll do that course pretty quickly. Okay. August 30th is about 30 days away from today. And the reason we do that is because, again, you've moved into that high risk group. And the sooner we get you through that course process, the better. You turn it in not later than August 30th. If you want to turn it in next week, so much the better. There's a deadline, not an only date. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you motivated to complete teen court and get your case dismissed?
Yes.
Okay. If you turn in your course on time and pay that fee, then I dismiss the charge and I waive the $254. Okay. So it's a pretty good deal because I'm expecting that I don't see you anymore after this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Because you can only do teen court like once. Okay. So what time can we look for you all to come to the court today? Because mom does
11:30.
And mom has to come with you. I'm sorry. I should have said that.
That's fine.
Okay. Before noon?
Yes, before noon.
Okay, great. We'll look for y'all then. Do you have any questions?
I don't.
Mom, do you have questions?
I do not, thank you.
Okay. So I've got it. We've actually just finalized your paperwork now. So it'll be there when you come up to the court clerk's window. Just say your name. Any clerk can help you. Okay. And if you have questions there, let them know. They have a lot of things they know how to answer. If it's something they can't answer, they will actually route it to me. So don't read your paperwork and don't leave with questions unanswered, because we want to make sure you know how to successfully get this done. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Brody, I just want your safety. I know Mom agrees. So yeah, I'm confident you're going to get your team court completed so that we can make sure that we're doing everything we can to make you a safe driver. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. See y'all soon.
Thank you.
You're good to go.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Let me pull the Coltharp, excuse me, file. And Mr. Mattson, where are we with regard to this matter?
Your Honor, Ms. Coulthard would actually like to discuss driver safety course through you.
Okay, so the issue really is that we actually normally, you're supposed to elect driving safety at the first setting, which is not what happened here. So, and Mr. Mattson and I probably have not had this discussion because it actually hasn't come up. And he's not a new lawyer, but he's relatively new to my court. So the way that I have always handled that, I'll just disclose it, is that I asked the prosecutor to evaluate and make that recommendation because it's a departure from what the law specifies, which is that on time at first court appearance. So what I can offer from the bench would be the driving safety course 2 option, where you pay the court costs and $234 is the total of the ticket, and you would have to be responsible for paying that. And it does need to get paid all at once. And then, you would be in that process. What is significant about that is that if you are under 25 and we do a deferral, which you heard me talk about, you would still be required to do the driver's safety course. There's no option to gain a dismissal 25 and under without the course by law, because again, that's just statistically driven. The court doesn't make any money off of, a driver's safety course. It's an outside vendor that you select. But the only thing I have available for you is either a deferred or what we call driving safety course 2, where you pay the full cost. So I don't really, when you get into what it looks like, they look the same. Okay. They're a slight difference because one has some added be a good driver requirements, and the other is just get your course and your record turned in. So I am willing to do that with you on a plea of guilty or no contest, give you the driver safety course 2 option, because that's the only thing that you would be qualified to do at this point. And then you would have a course and a record due within 90 days. And then if you want to do that, the first question is, are you changing your plea to guilty or no contest at this time? And the second question is, when can you pay the $234? So let me have you unmute and talk to me a little bit.
Yes, Your Honor. So I am not able to pay the entire $234 currently. Another question I have, are these 2 options, does either one of them get the ticket off of my record? Because
they both would.
Oh, they both would? Okay.
And with the 234, it's on both cases. I mean, both scenarios. So the question would be, when could you pay it in full? Because I can work with you on some time.
Okay. Let me see. So I will be getting a check at the end of August, so about a month from now.
Right.
That would help me pay it.
August 30th is an option. Would that work for you?
Yes, that should work. I should be getting the check like a week before that. It's just
it would be no later than that date. Like that would be your sort of what we call a drop dead date.
Okay.
And that becomes the date that you sign up to do it.
To do the course?
No, to
No?
start the 90-day process. So what we would do today is give you that 30-day extension, and that 30-day extension would be on a plea of guilty or no contest, with the understanding that you're coming back to sign up for driver's safety course 2.
Okay.
Do you want to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I look, you're in Temple. You want to swing by, sign the paperwork, and come on in so you can get copies? Or are you wanting us to email those to you to get back to us this morning?
I could come in.
Okay, what time?
I mean, I could, if I'm out of this court, I could leave now and come by and be there by
Okay,
2:30. I mean,
okay, that's fine. We'll have everything at the front desk for you.
okay.
You will have to enter what we call a conditional plea. And what will happen is you'll just enter that plea of guilty or no contest. On the form, it will say, driver safety course, I want that, check it, put in parentheses or at the bottom, driver safety course 2 per meeting.
Mhm.
And the notes will be in the file from our discussion. And the
Okay.
clerk will know when you come back what they're looking for, so they can give you the information for what you need to bring with you when you come back. Okay, because there's a list of things you're going to bring with you when you come back in August. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then with the thanks of the court, you're good to go now. We'll see you at the front shortly. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
And Mr. Mattson, I'm going to move you forward with Christina Everett. Everett, I'll just unmute you now so we make sure your audio is working. How are you?
Hi, good, and you?
Yes, I'm well, thank you. And I'm moving you over to that meeting room with Mr. Mattson for that
Okay.
pretrial discussion. Thank you. And then I am moving forward, actually, hold on. Sorry? Oh, it just says teacher. Okay. Okay. I'm moving forward with Mr. Franklin Colby. Good morning, Mr. Franklin. How are you today?
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm good. Do you have a parent with you, Colby?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. You're under 17, so I must have a parent. And dad, is that dad?
Yes, Nathan Franklin.
Nathan Franklin. Thank you. And just a quick question. Can y'all get it where you're both on the screen? Thank you so much. Great. Perfect. Okay. I'm Judge Person, and good morning. Colby, I did receive the information that you submitted, and you submitted a no contest plea and a request for tinker, which I will grant here shortly. But before I do any of that, I want to make sure, did you understand the pleading options of guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Dad, you feel like he understands?
Yes,
And so Colby, your plea at this time is no contest. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I will accept your plea. And then you requested teen court, which I will grant. With teen court, and in this case, just having looked at it this morning, what I would normally do, and I don't see a reason to depart from that, there is a $20 teen court fee. Can that fee get paid today?
I
Yes.
believe so. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then what will happen is when you come in to sign up for it and get your paperwork, there'll be a driving safety course due August 30th, and we'll give you the paperwork information for how to find a class. And you can turn it in anytime between now and no later than August 30th. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all have questions about what we're doing here?
no, ma'am.
Okay, so just the fee, the course, gets you a dismissal. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Safety issue. The ticket is $254. It's kind of, we have the one-off thing. We're hoping as a young driver that we get you into a safer driving mode that will last a while, hopefully a lifetime, so that we don't read about you. We want to keep you safe. And I know I sound dramatic, but the truth is every year I know someone, unfortunately through my position, that we lose. or that gets really hurt. And one year it was a young man who survived, but his friends. And it's just tragic. And we just don't want that to be anyone. Okay. But right now, you're in the super group. Okay. We want to get you out of the super group. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm pretty sure Dad agrees.
Yes, I do.
We're terrified when our kids start driving. I get it, because I had several of my own and several friends' kids that I taught to drive. And it's just a big step. Yeah. So we just want to keep you safe. Okay, Colby?
Yes, ma'am.
So I do need y'all both to come to sign the paperwork because you're underage. And even though the burden is on you to get it done, Dad, Mom, they're supporting you. Okay. And you're lucky to have that, but you've got to get it done. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
What time will we look for y'all to come to?
If we left right now, we could probably be there about 10:30.
Okay. Don't rush. Just sometime this morning is great. And that way you'll get copies of everything. Just read it carefully. Make sure that you understand what's expected. Ask questions if you don't. And as always, if you can't get an answer from a clerk, they will make sure you get an answer from me. Okay.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Any further questions from us?
No, ma'am.
Y'all are good to go, and thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I just want to check in. I had teacher log in, and I want to just check in who you are.
I'm Callan Thigpen.
Hi, Ms. Thigpen. Good to see you. And we will get to your case. You missed the earlier discussion where I gave all the options. So when I get to your case, I'll be kind of giving you a lot of information so that you understand and know. Okay. I'm going to move forward then with Jasmine Hallett. And Ms. Hallett, if you could unmute and just let me know how you're doing today.
I'm fine. How are you?
Thank you. I'm well. And I'm pulling your file. That's partly what I'm doing. And I did look at everything that you gave me this morning. And I did want to ask you a couple of questions. I did receive, let me look again, a plea, I know I did, of guilty, and a request for, you checked driver safety course or deferred disposition. So I just kind of took that, like, if I can't have one, can I have the other? Did I understand you? Did I understand you properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. And is guilty your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When you missed the court deadline, and I get what happened, but you missed the date because it's even like you could email it in. However, the word you used, stranded, I got the feeling it was probably a bigger thing that happened there than just my car broke one day. It sounded maybe a bigger thing.
Well, it's just I was out of town, and so I kind of got stranded. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it also, and then the money that I had to use, that I was going to use for that, I ended up having to use to fix my vehicle. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I did hear you. And Mr. Raymond, you are logged in. You keep unmuting. You'll have a turn though, I promise. But definitely you're logged in and I can see you. And eventually I'll be able to hear you. We'll take time for you. But right now I'm working with Ms. Hallett. And so Ms. Hallett, just real quickly, the other thing that happened on the forms that I received from you is that there was not a disclosure of income or bills. Are you working at this time?
Yeah, I do like deliveries and stuff so it's not like a regular job, but I do like Uber Eats and Instacart and stuff like that, like the driver services.
The other thing is that you didn't tell me, you just checked rent and you put some bills.
It must have been some kind of form. I feel like I was
No, there it
experiencing
is.
some kind of formatting.
I'm sorry, I apologize. I do see it. Give me just a moment. Let me look again.
Yeah.
Because I do see it. You're right though, the way it came in, it was like kind of messed up, which is fine. But I missed that the information was there because I don't know how to describe it, but trust me that it's confusing, and I don't think it's your fault or anything like that.
Yeah, I was looking at it and I felt the same way too, but I don't know why it did that.
Well, it just probably has to do with your versions and our versions of, you know,
Yeah.
software and stuff like that. So let's not sweat the small stuff. Give me just a minute. If I can read it, I'm not a big fan of stressing about the appearance of things so much as just getting enough information to make a decent decision. So, okay, with the driving safety course option, you can pay the court costs, which I believe in this case, let me just look and see if that's an option. Did we get any kind of warrant fee? Any fees other than court costs? Okay, what are they 145? I mean 144? Okay, the court costs are 144 and those all have to get paid at once. And then I would need your license and your proof of current insurance on the day that you pay the 144. Is that something, can you do that today?
Yes. Yes. Can it be around like maybe, can I come in maybe about like 2:30 or 3?
Yes.
Okay.
No later than 3, shall we say?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you'll bring license and insurance?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then the clerk will have everything for you at the window.
And you said it's 140. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, I know. It just has to do with the way technology works. Sometimes we interrupt. It's not, once again, I just don't take things like that personally. But what I'll tell you is that, okay, so yeah, 144 license and insurance at the clerk's window, no later than 3. Make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to let you go unless you have any further questions.
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Mr. Mattson, I know you were working with Christina Everett and she is back in the room. Where are we with regard to these 2 cases?
Your Honor, the insurance citation will be dismissed in exchange for a plea of no contest on the registration ticket.
Okay. And you're going to send that motion over? Are you able to? I know that we have had some difficulty with the current situation with your stuff. So do you want me to, I'm sorry, I can prepare that if you are okay with that, since I know we're having.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Getting signatures. And I'm just going to handle it on this end by your oral motion. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I forgot that we were having that issue. We'll get it solved and I know you'll get better. But Ms. Everett, he is dismissing 1 charge in exchange for you pleading no contest on the other. In looking at your income information, I'm wanting to ask, are you able to make payments? I'm so sorry, you'll have to unmute.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes, I did make payments on the first or the 2nd of every month. I could try to make something.
Okay, the other option that we have is that I could look at community service in your case. You are disabled and I would want to make some accommodations there. And that is acceptable to the court as well. I will let you tell me what would work best for you.
Okay, I just don't want to get in no trouble for nothing. I'll just do everything I can.
You're not going to get in trouble unless you don't ever come back and we don't hear from you again. And I don't see that happening. Hold on just a moment. Let me move Mr. Mattson forward and then you and I will have just another discussion regarding the options for dealing with the no contest. I'm sorry, the registration charge.
Yes,
Mr. Mattson, if you're okay with advancing forward, I'm going to try to say this name right. Moin Alchia is next. Okay. And sir, unmute and tell us how to say it. Again, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Moin Alchia. You're right.
Alchia. Okay, great. Okay. So he's going to move into that meeting with you. And afterward, y'all will come back here. Okay. And then while everything was moving, Mr. Ake is trying to get his audio connected. So I I'll just wait. So Miss Everett, what I want to tell you is, I was a little confused by your paperwork. So let me talk to you just further. Are you disabled, or is your son disabled, or are you both disabled?
We both are.
Okay. I was not clear about that.
That's right, yes.
I normally don't get into people's medical situation, and I don't need to know a lot. I don't need to know a lot, but could you tell me just briefly what is yours?
Mine is from my hands. On
Okay.
my nerves in my hands are dying. I had to have plates put in my hands and my arms because my bones are separating from my hand. So it's I just had surgery on the 8th of this month, and it's just
What's that called?
something of it starts with the U, and then I have it's called Raynaud's disorder. So it causes the nerves to die in your hands, your feet, everything. It affects everything.
I do know about that. Okay. So I can order community service. I can give you 60 days, and you can bring me a doctor's note that says that you cannot do the community service, and I can look at waiving it.
Okay.
Okay. So that's another option available. And I'm kind of inclined to see if you can get a doctor's note, and I
Okay.
can work with you a little bit on the time. When do you see your doctor? You just had surgery. When do you see your doctor?
I go back and see the doctor August 2nd.
Oh, okay.
So
So
I got these stitches and stuff pulled out of my hand. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it, but I have my hands wrapped.
yeah, I don't need to see it. I absolutely believe that that's real. So right now it's 8 hours. I'm giving a due date of September 27th, but what I'm really looking for is a doctor note
Okay.
saying that you can't do it, because that might be a temporary cast, but what you're
Yes.
describing is a real lifelong situation. So
Yes.
yeah, I just need something from a doctor or a nurse that is
Yes.
working with you on your care.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll get it.
I'm going to go ahead and
Ma'am, I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
yeah, I know. I'm talking to a clerk. Just give me a second. Okay. We're doing a prosecutor dismissal. Yeah. And then the other is a community service order. Okay. I just was letting the clerk know what we were doing so she could prepare the paperwork. Okay. We'll send you a copy of the dismissal. We'll send you a timesheet on the community service, because it's going to have your court due date.
Okay.
And that way you'll know, you'll have a written, when is it due, meaning community service or a doctor note.
Okay.
If you can't do either by that date, you need to come by and talk to a clerk.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll keep working on it. But it sounds
Yes,
like you're going to get that in a couple of weeks. Just bring it
Yes.
when you get it. Bring it when you get it. Don't wait. Okay.
I will.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so I need to send a quick note to Mr. Ake because his audio is not logging in. And I don't know if he can. Mr. Ake, can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, Mr. Ake, you're not Joseph Ake. I'm just asking Joseph Ake if he can hear me. So just everybody hang on. I'm just sending a note. I start trying to connect to people the best I can. Okay, moving forward. Raymond Rodriguez, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you this morning?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine. Let me get your case pulled up. Just give me a second. Okay, so I did review everything. Okay, you have a lot of things. Okay, when you were with the clerk, you filled out a bunch of paperwork with pleas that were entered, and I'm about to accept those pleas. Okay. So I just have to, what I legally gonna have to do is just read through them quickly and confirm that, yes, that is your plea at this time. Okay.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
then the next step after that will be that I looked at your incarceration paperwork from the county, and some of it can be used to satisfy your older cases. And then on the newer cases, we want to look at a payment option. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
On the new, because I have to have a case, and then in jail time, I can't count jail time that happened after or before the offense. So I'll apply it, but it will actually get there. And give me just a moment. Mr. Ake, I see your hand up. Good morning. Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm not showing that you can hear me. So I don't have a way to talk to you. And I don't know why. Your system is not letting you hear me. And you're not responding to the chat feature. Mr. Ake, can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Joseph Ake. Okay. I don't really, there's not a way for me to communicate. And he's gone. Okay, let me get him back in. I saw he was having some problems. Hi, Mr. Matson. So sorry that happened. I don't know what happened, but
Don't
I'm
know
gonna,
what happened either, Your Honor.
yeah, let me have you and Mr. Alchia talk again. Mr. Alchia, you'll have to re-engage I can't resend you. You'll have to re-engage your meeting button and take yourself back over there. If you move your cursor around your screen, you ought to be able to, there should be a button on the bottom that lets you move back over to that meeting. See if you can go on over. Mr. Rodriguez, I haven't forgotten about you. Give me a minute.
No problem.
Okay, there they went. We're good to go. Mr. Ake, I think, might finally get connected. Sometimes too, when people dial in and sometimes they're at work, like I can tell that he's at work, you start moving around and you just don't get there. And he's looking around trying to figure it out. So he looks smart enough. I might call him in a minute, but he's late, so I'm not going to do that right now. Mr. Rodriguez, again, let me just get back to you. The older cases are from 2016. There was August 29th of 2016, a defective headlamp charge. You've entered a plea of guilty. That is eligible for time service. The balance is $372.97. Is guilty your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then from that same stop and no driver's license, the balance is $330.20. Same deal, but is guilty your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then from that same stop, there's what we call a violation of the promise to appear. That really means you didn't come to court on time. I think we've got that pretty clear.
Yeah.
The balance $395.20, and subject to the same time service possibility. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
There's an additional stop, thank you, of September 15th of 2016. Same situation, but it's a paraphernalia charge. And I have a guilty plea on a balance of $470.47. And that is your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Those cases can be time served. And that's going to help a lot. All right. And so the next step is to go to your two newer cases, a stop from June 29th of 2022, a speeding charge. If you paid it, it's $254. You entered a plea of guilty. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then the license invalid charge, the balance is $281, and a guilty plea. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, let me make some notes, and then I want to talk to you about options. So I don't know the reason for your license suspension. One option is that with the old cases, I place a hold on the license. That hold after a point can trigger a suspension, okay? And it just has to do with how long you neglected it. And I don't have a way to undo reality at this point, okay?
Yeah.
It kind of is what it is, and I don't mean to be flippant about it. I'm not. I actually take it pretty seriously. But we can do a payment plan on the newer cases. Can you pay any of it today? There are 2 cases, and I think you were with us at the beginning of the meeting. You do save money if you pay things earlier within 30 days. Your total in the 30 days is $535, I believe. I will defer a little to the clerk because they set all that up. But if you understand me, are you able to pay any of that today?
Yes, ma'am. I probably paid about maybe $100 today.
Okay. And then you want to do payments once a month or every 2 weeks? When are you paid at your job?
I'm paid every week.
Okay. What day of the week is a good day for you? Fridays, Thursdays? What's going to work?
I would have to say maybe Fridays, but I work like from 4 in the morning all the way to like 4 in the afternoon, so it's kind of hard to make my way down there.
Yeah, you can pay online or by phone.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So why don't we say every other week, $50? Will that work for you?
Yes, ma'am.
We can start after the $100 payment today, we can start next Friday on August 5th. Will that work?
Yes, ma'am.
Just making notes. So what I need is your signature. And you said you work till 4. Are you working today?
No, ma'am. I requested off because I had court.
Okay. The easiest way to handle this right now is for you to come by, sign up, get a printout of your payment plan. It'll just be on those 2 cases. Your warrants will be recalled. Nobody's going to arrest you. I actually will assure you of that. But I have a packet for you that is all about how to get a occupational license for essential need to drive.
Okay.
Until you can, because the thing that's going to happen after today, those old cases, the convictions get entered. And even if I did deferrals on all of them, it would still count against you. It's going to trigger a big chunk of suspension time for your license.
Okay.
So I want to give you a packet that's a walkthrough. All I've done is printed the information that's available online for you if you knew how to find it on the state website. And you walk yourself through getting a license so you can drive and not keep getting ticket suspension, because people can create like a big hole. Well, you can get over that with what I call an occupational license. I like to call it a bridge license. You can bridge over that, follow it. It's not fun, but you get there. And at the end of all of that, you drive lawfully and you never go back into it.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you learned a lot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't grant those. The JP in your jurisdiction does that. I didn't look. Let me look. There'll be instructions for how to find the judge that you need for that and the paperwork that you need to fill out, because those judges have put it all online because they have to do it so much. So I'll give you that packet is what I'm saying at the window when you come to sign up for your payment plan. Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
What time can we look for you?
I'm gonna have to say
This
before,
morning?
I got 3 kids. I have to get ready, so we all have to.
What?
Yes, ma'am.
Before what? You cut out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Before noon.
Okay. That's fine. We'll have everything at the window for you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We'll see you then.
Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. You too. Just folks, let me catch up on papers. There we go. There we go. And Mr. Alchia, Mr. Matson, let me have y'all tell me where we are.
Your Honor, the registration ticket I will be dismissing,
Okay,
and the speeding ticket I will be reducing Mr. Alcia's fine to $50.
okay. I'm going to do that on your oral motion this morning, but I have a question, and thank you. Mr. Alcia, you didn't fill out a financial form, so the question I have first is, can you pay the other case? Let me look real quickly. I think it comes to 184, Mr. Mattson. Is that your understanding?
That's what I have, Your Honor.
Okay, so are you paying that in full today?
How much is?
184.
I can't pay 184 today.
Okay, that's fine. But the thing is, we sent you financial information disclosure form and you didn't fill it out. So to do a payment plan beyond today, I need to get that filled out for you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you're in Cedar Park, so I'm gathering you're not driving to the court this morning. I can re-email it to you.
Yeah.
we already emailed it to you on July.
I can look in. I can look into my email. I can send you by later on today.
It was with everything else that we sent you. So, I mean, you got all the other stuff. So July 12th, we sent it. We can send it. And if you need, can you pay it within 30 days? That will save you money.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, what I'll do is send you the payment plan of 30 days. I need you to sign that. And the financial disclosure, I need you to fill it out and sign that. If you get both of those things back today, then the reduction will happen.
And what's the email you got?
The one we used for the meeting that you logged into from today.
Today? Okay.
Yeah, we sent you a link and that's how you got in this meeting. Does that email work?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll send it there. We want it back today or you're going to wind up with issues. So you need to follow the directions.
So if I don't do it today, what happens?
You get a warrant and your deal goes away.
And like how long?
We close at 5. We need it by 4:30.
Okay.
The alternative is you can drive up here and come to court.
No, I'll fill it up.
Okay, those are the options. It's court. It's not,
Yep. I feel you. Yeah, we good.
Okay, you're good to go then.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, okay, Mr. Mattson, Mr. Ake has logged in twice. His audio is not connecting. I would suggest that you mute yourself and call him because he's really made a good faith effort, I think, and there's something technologically not working out. He's been on the screen until just a moment ago, and I'm sending him an ask to start video, but his audio just doesn't connect and then it stops trying. So I think it may just be that whatever he's using doesn't have that capacity. And I would say, please, let's just try to call him.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Can you, I'm actually doing the Zoom through my phone, so can you give me his phone number? I'm going to have to.
I'm sorry, I accidentally unmuted you. Yes, I can. I will text it to you. No, I will tell you. It is, 254-419-0335.
Okay. I will give him a call and then I will dial back in.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll look for you. Okay. So let's see. Moving forward. Give me a second. Chelsea Jackson, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm good.
Give me a moment. Let me get your file pulled. So we had an old case with what we call a capious warrant, which is just not completing a court order. We're going to address that with the new case too, okay?
Okay.
Okay. There's a speeding charge currently from June 6th of 2022. If you paid it at the window, it's $259. I did receive a no contest plea, and I wanted to ask first, is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I also reviewed your income information, and I have determined that I can order community service in your case, both of the cases, to complete your cases. And that would come to 37 hours of community service. And I would recall your warrant and give you 60 days to turn that in. If you were unable to complete it within that time, you could apply for an extension by turning in what you have and writing me a note, just letting me know what you need in terms of time, and we would proceed forward that way. Will that work for you, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, it would.
Okay. So, and I noticed that you are local. There is it's not a giant packet, but it's quite a number of things. And those are things that you need printed to use them. So I would say the better option is for you to come by sometime today for us to give you everything. It will include a timesheet to keep track of your hours. That includes your deadlines, so you know the dates, rules for how to do the community service, where you can do the community service, a list, because you're actually going to be in charge of finding a place, getting yourself there and getting it done and turned in. I don't micromanage that for you and order you to specific places. It gets too chaotic for you if I do that. And you're the primary manager of your own time. So I just respect that and let people do it for themselves. Okay. So what I would say is, of course, the court is a safe harbor. If you're coming over to resolve your cases, nobody will arrest you. In fact, I'll be recalling your warrants today and putting this order in place in replace of anything else. So can you come by today, please?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
What time will work for you?
Before 2:00.
Okay, that'll work great. And what I'll tell you is that the due date, again, I mean, I'm trying to see if you can get it done. If you can't, I'm trying to see what you were able to get done, because people have children, finances, work, I get it. So don't get scared if you don't get it all done. Just bring what you have. Tell me what you think might work. And I'm usually just working with you with that.
Okay.
So, okay, we'll see you around 2. When you come by, just read everything real quickly. Make sure you understand. Ask any questions you might have, and we'll just go from there, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Mr. Mattson, I see you in the meeting, and Mr. Ake is in the meeting. Were you able to reach out to him and connect?
Called him 3 times, Your Honor. He did not pick up.
Okay, were you able to leave any kind of message?
I left a voicemail telling him to answer or give me a call back.
Okay. I'm going to say then that you are good to go, and I'm going to actually take him out of the meeting. I've tried that to see if a reconnect would work. It did not seem to. And I'll just keep working with him at that point. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Hope you get to feeling better. Just a moment, people. I'll be right with you. Okay. Okay. And I am moving forward as well with Kamar Riemann, Mr. Riemann. Yes, your turn. How are you this morning? Can you unmute?
Yes,
How are you this morning?
I'm all right.
Okay, great. Yeah, let me just get everything pulled up to talk to you. I did receive your paperwork, and I did receive a plea of guilty on the invalid license charge and on the registration charge. These are from 2018. And are those your pleas today at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I will accept your pleas. I did review your case. It looks like we are looking at probably community service. Are you living with family? Is that how this is working?
Excuse me, I live in Houston, and yeah. What is your question?
How are you making ends meet? I mean, you say you haven't worked, but you have these bills. How are they getting paid?
I mean, I got my brother. He's trying to help me out a little bit, whatever, he can. And so, I'm doing a study right now for my Cdl. I used to have a Cdl, and I lost it. So I'm trying to get it back. And I went down over there to take a written exam, but they didn't let me get in because I believe if I have passed my CDL, I would get a job hopefully. So I was just wondering if you can give me some kind of occupational license so that I can go ahead and get in the exam. And so, I can try to pass that exam as soon as possible.
Okay, let me address your questions. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I am not a licensed grantor, okay? DPS does that, and they do that principally when you have invalid license issues. They do that through your local JP's office. So you're gonna have to go talk to your local JP, Justice of the Peace, because they are the DPS licensed occupational grantor. And the CDL program, I am not connected to, other than convictions from here and deferrals from here are entered into their database. Okay, so
yeah, that's what they were talking about.
Wait, whoa! I'm still talking because you had several questions. I can't address your Cdl status at all. Your license is right now, it appears that it might be suspended. You'll need to go online and find out why that is. One reason might be that you've ignored these cases for 4 years. So we need to address that. And that's what I can do. And you do need to clear that hurdle before you get any kind of license. Okay. So I can order community service, which you can do in your community. And it looks like that would be 39 hours. And it has to be in a nonprofit. In your community is fine. Cypress is fine. Okay, you can do it over there. I can give you a list of places that are here, and that can at least give you some idea of what I'm looking for. But it has to be, if you read my rules, and you need to read the rules we send you very carefully. If you read my rules, it will tell you that you can do it at any nonprofit in your community, but it must be a nonprofit organization or I cannot count it. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So we'll send you a timesheet, the rules, and a list of places. I'll recall your warrants today and give you an opportunity to get your hours cleared. I want that no later than September 27th, or you have to write in and ask for an extension and send me what you've done.
Okay.
Are we clear about it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you have a duty to keep up with this. You've always had a duty to keep up with this. And I'm not releasing the hold I have on your license until I can clear your case out.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and recall your warrants once, you need to understand the city doesn't have any coverage if you're injured, etc. Okay. When you do community service, it's at your own risk. Okay.
Okay.
Making a note. Okay, so we'll send that to the email that we used to set up the meeting today, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, you're good to go.
Okay. So you said I need to set up a meeting. So I
No.
need to.
You need to set up community service.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes.
And
got
I'm gonna send you the rules and directions for what you need to do.
Okay. Okay. I'll look
And
for my
it's-
email.
Yes, it's 39 hours, due September 27th.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
yes, sir.
Yeah. You have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. Excuse me. Moving forward, and he's been in and out with problems, and you're back in, which is great. You didn't lose your place in line, Mr. Lewis. Can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
I think you were having some technical stuff
Yeah, my
happening.
phone had died.
Well, it looks like we're connected now, so that's great. I did review everything you sent in. There's an invalid license charge with fines and costs of $281. And I did receive a no contest plea, and I didn't receive any other requests, so we can talk about that. Well, no, there was a request for community service, which I'm inclined to grant. Question, is no contest your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll accept your plea. I did receive information that leads me to believe that right now there's no income, and therefore I can order community service. Is that where we are?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to get it deferred, though, if I could.
Yes, you can. The problem is I'm going to make you get your license
Yes, ma'am.
valid, and I need it pretty quickly. And I don't know, I'm not seeing what the problem is because the problem is not with my court. Do you know what's wrong with your license?
No, not really. If you don't
Okay.
mind, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I have a packet and you're in Temple, and I'm going to suggest that you come by to sign your deferred, pick up your community service information, and pick up your how to get a license information, because you need to get started on both of those things today, because it's going to be hard to get it within the time frame of a deferred. A deferred is not a great mechanism in this situation, but I'm willing to try it with you. You're going to have to be very assertive on getting that license, because you're going to have to file a lawsuit with another court, get it set, and get a license and bring it to me as part of your deferral. I'll give you 90 days.
Yes, ma'am.
And that means that your deferral is going to be a little bit longer than the usual deferral, because we need more time. Because we need a little room to play with in case we need it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I don't mind granting the deferred. I'm going to tell you that DPS is still going to see that deferred, and they still might take more actions against you. You're kind of in what we call a catch-22 or a double bind. Don't let that discourage you. Get that occupational license. You can do it. And get through the deferral. And if they count the deferral against you, you'll still be getting that occupational to get through it. You're already suspended. They just might suspend you further. An occupational will let you lawfully drive anyway, but it'll limit when you're allowed to drive. It's like for work, for all those essential things that you need. Okay. And it'll be in the packet for how to do that and how to get that judge to hear your case. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Mr. Lewis, I'm more than happy to try to work with you. But there's a limit to what I get to do because I'm not the JP that grants those licenses. But I do know how to, I have a packet and you'll just walk yourself through it.
Yes, ma'am.
Basically self-explanatory if you read it through. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You seem intelligent, so I bet you can do it.
Thank you.
Okay. When can we look for you this morning or today, this morning or this afternoon?
As soon as we get off this phone, I can head that way.
Okay, great. I'll make a note for the clerk. We'll have your deferral at the window, plus your community service information, plus your how to get a license. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions?
No, not really. Just about the license thing. I mean, I am willing to pay for it because I know I have to in the end, but it's just a weird thing where it's just like, I don't know why it was ever invalid. Like, I don't.
Right. So let me interrupt you for a minute. Of course, the first way to solve a problem is to name it, right?
Yes,
and what you're telling me is I don't know how to name the problem. And what I'm going to tell you is that the packet I'm going to give you will help you figure that out.
Okay.
Okay. And then you're just going to go from there and get the information and start working with reality.
Yes,
as far as filing the lawsuit in the other court, the paperwork for filing that lawsuit will be in this packet. You just fill it in.
Yes, ma'am.
And that judge will want you to know to name the problem too, and will want to know that everything you can do to solve it has been done. And that packet will, if you take all the steps in there, it's like 1 through 6.
Okay.
And it also includes, if you can't pay the filing fee at that court, there's a way to ask the judge to waive that filing fee. And that form and that information is also in my packet.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I understand.
I mean, you just need to get busy.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
Yeah. You'll actually figure it out, because if you sat here with me and we worked on it, since I do it a lot, I could probably tell you within 30 minutes, and it might take you 45, right?
Yes.
So you'll be fine. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right. I believe in you. You can do it.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. It'll be at the front desk with your paperwork.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, have a good one.
You too. Good luck.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, and I am moving forward. Let's see, with Sterling Bunton. Mr. Bunton, good morning. Can you unmute for me?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you today?
Okay. Okay.
All right. I did look through everything that you provided, and let's see.
I have to say something real quick on my financial thing.
Yes.
I do get a little check from the VA, which is for $956 a month.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So that's something. I didn't put that on there, but I'm almost 65 years old, so I'm kind of like a little slow in that area. But I do get a check from the VA also for $956.
Okay. Okay, that does change things a little.
Yes,
give me a moment. And thank you for the disclosure.
Yes, ma'am.
And your honesty. That goes a long way. I did see that you were a veteran. I did see that part.
Yes, ma'am.
So I have a question. Okay, so there's a speeding charge. These are from 2015. Okay, and April 28th of 2015, a speeding charge. And you entered a plea of guilty. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then an invalid license charge with a plea of guilty from the
Yes,
same
ma'am.
stop. That's
Yes,
your
ma'am.
plea. And then the violating promise to appear, which is not showing up for court. We don't issue those right away. They take several months, but ultimately that did get filed and you entered a plea of guilty. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So actually, I kind of have a toss up here, and you have a grandson living with you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, y'all are taking care of your grandchild.
Yeah, well, not only just him here, but whenever the kids need help, bring them and drop them off over here. So I do what I can. I can't move around much because I've had surgery on both legs, and they want to do reconstructive surgery on both legs now. So
Oh my goodness.
yes, and then I had a eye implant lens put in 3 months ago in Temple, and it's like I have to go back to Temple again on the 12th of August. So I'm
What was
hanging in
that?
there.
What was
I have
that?
to go back. I have to go back to Temple again for another surgery, and they want to redo my knees all over again. So I said I'm hanging in there.
And you had a knee surgery and those have failed?
Well, I've had surgery on right knee in 1980 in the Navy, and then I had surgery again in Temple in 1998 on the other knee, and now they want to do reconstructive surgery on both knees.
That's come a
And
long way. Like that's actually improved dramatically, that technology. So maybe they can help you. I
yes,
hope
ma'am.
so.
Yes.
So I guess one question I have is, do you know if your license is currently back to valid?
No, man. What had happened was that I had a 20-year-old ticket that I didn't know about in a JP4 here in Austin, and then I had a 12-year-old ticket at JP1, and I contacted them, and what they did was they did a virtual like we're doing now, and what they did was they said since the tickets were sold, what they did was drop them, and then they had me pay the fees, and I paid the fees on all of my tickets, and then I talked to the DPS anyway. They said I need to pay Temple, so
Right.
that's why I'm here.
Okay. And your wife, do y'all have income for her?
She's a manager at Taco Bell. She's younger than me, so that's why she's still working.
Okay. And y'all are together in the same household?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you give me both of y'all's bills or just the ones that your side of it?
It was basically my side of it, but when I need help, she paid some, but I paid mostly everything.
Okay.
But with her
All right.
help, though. Yes, ma'am.
You had proposed a payment plan of $150 a month. Is that doable?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I can do that. Are you able to make any kind of payment today?
Today, yes, ma'am. I was wondering if I could, if possible, I can get some of the fines, get it reduced a little, and then
Yes, I can.
Yes, ma'am.
I can. In fact, I was going to do that, but I wanted to just talk to you a little bit. What are
Yes,
you
ma'am.
able to pay today?
I can pay up to at least $350 a day.
Okay. And then 150 every month on what day works?
The first of the month.
So we sort of have the first of the month coming up. Are you saying next week you do another payment, or you want to skip into September?
Start in September. I can make a
Okay.
payment today, but I can start in September.
Okay, right. So we'll do the big payment today and then begin. I'm going to say September 3rd because sometimes that's when people have things.
That's
come
my
in.
birthday. That's good.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Well, September 3rd is a Saturday, so it'll be the 2nd.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. I normally, what happens is when I get paid, I normally just pay all my bills.
Right.
Because sometimes
Okay.
the DA sends checks out a little bit early, so I just normally just pay.
Okay. All right. So, and give me a moment. I want to talk to the clerk about some reductions.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Mr. Bunton. Okay. So on the quite a number, Mr. Bunton, of the things that you have with us, the money part, quite a bit of it is like warrants and collection fees.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
there's some limits, but I'll do the things I can do.
Yes, ma'am.
And when I do that, those fees adjust. So it's going to take a few minutes for us to get it all calculated.
Okay. Yes,
on
ma'am.
that one. Let me know when you're ready. So I'm going to let her work on that, and I'm going to put you on hold for a minute.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I'm going to work with another person and come back to you when I get the reductions done.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then we'll talk about how to get your signature.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Just bear with us. We'll get there. And then I am moving next to Ms. Lowe, Stavisha Lowe. There you are.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
morning. Hi, thank you. Glad you're still with us. So I did review everything, and I kind of want to talk to you. I had some things that I'm a little confused about, and I want to clarify, and then I want to hear from you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We have some older cases. They have what are called capious warrants for non-completion. And they already had pleas entered on them. And I think you're aware of those. Then we had some newer things. They're not new, but June 1st, there's a stop. There is an expired registration charge with fines and costs of $151. How are you pleading to the charge?
Guilty.
Okay. And then there is a no driver's license from that stop. The fines and costs are $181. How are you pleading to that charge?
Guilty.
Okay. And then there is a no insurance charge. The fines and costs are $281. How are you pleading to that charge?
Guilty.
Okay. So I did receive that you had gotten the registration and the insurance done finally, but they were outside of the time frame that would allow me to do a dismissal.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
I can, and then I did review your financial circumstances, and I am able to go ahead and order community service for all of this. I have a quick question before I do the community service order, and this is not anything I'm assuming about you. I'm always looking for efficient, quick ways to kind of alleviate the burden for people a little bit, especially when they have this amount that would be due, because with all those old cases and all the new cases, everything together, $3,160.58, that's a lot. And so I just ask everybody in that situation this question. Do you have any jail time that I could look at and consider and give you credit for?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay, that's fine. And I mean, that's good, but I just wanted to ask and make sure we don't miss that possible help. So I can order that everything be completed through community service. We've got a long game that you're going to need to play to get all that done, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And so it turns into 158 hours. And right now I'm going to start with a due date of 60 days, which I anticipate will probably not be enough time, but I want to see what can you get done during that time? Can we get, how much can we get done? Because that'll let me know how much more time you might need. Are you with me so far?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. And then the other thing is, and I will recall your warrants today, but I also need you to come by the court to pick up your paperwork and sign for it. And you won't be arrested at the court. I think you've heard me say that. But what I will say is, when can we look for you this morning?
This afternoon.
Okay. We'll look for you before 4, okay, or on or by 4.
Yes, that'll be fine.
Okay. We'll have everything at the desk for you, and at that point, you'll have a list of places where you can do the work, the rules and directions for performing community service, and a timesheet, a couple of them, for keeping track of your hours, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Lowe, thank you.
Thank you.
You're good to go.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. And the next one. And then on the other. All right, then I'm moving forward. And the next person I would talk to is Ms. Thigpen, who is patiently waiting. Hi, Ms. Thigpen.
Hello.
Hi, can you unmute? Oh, great. And is your mom still there with you? I think you were with mom, right?
Yes.
Hi. Thanks for y'all's patience. Okay, so there is a teen court request. This is a failing to yield the right-of-way turning left at an intersection. And you're a Troy student, and there was an accident. Do I have it right so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I did receive a plea from you of guilty. I just wanted to talk to you. You weren't on the meeting when I gave this information, so I need to make sure you've got it. So there are 3 options for pleading: guilty, not guilty, and no contest. And you have entered a plea of guilty. Guilty means I did it. No contest means I'm not contesting it or admitting it. I just want to move forward. And not guilty means I want the state to prove the case against me, which means a trial. Do you understand those options?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you feel like, Mom, that she understands what's happening?
Yes.
And Mom, I forgot to ask your name, please.
Kimberly Thigpen.
Okay, thank you so much. And and guilty is your plea at this time, Kaylin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so I'll accept your plea, and then I will grant teen court. Teen court is a dismissal process that places the burden on you to do some things to earn that dismissal, but most importantly, to move you toward a safer habit, because you weren't on the meeting when I said this, but if you were 25 or under, and you are, and especially there's kind of a super subgroup of student, like young people, teens. Teens who have an accident are in the highest bracket for further involvement with they're in the leading bracket for death and dismemberment on the roadway. It's a very serious thing. And you're in that super group of people that we are the most worried about. So that actually has a lot to do with what we're doing, because I'm going to want everything really soon. So there's a $20 fee that you pay today if you can pay it today. Can you pay it today?
Yes, ma'am.
It's a cash fee. And you're going to come to the court with a parent to sign your paperwork and pick it all up. You'll have a driver safety course due in 30 days, which is August 30th, and an essay due within 30 days as well. If you get the course, you take the course at your own expense. We'll give you information for how to find a course. You get your course turned in, your essay turned in, you get a dismissal of the charge.
Yes, ma'am.
And a waiver of the balance as well. Okay. Can you, when can you come to the court to fill out your paperwork?
Before 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Yes, that's great. We will see you at the front desk. It won't take very long, about 15 minutes or less. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Y'all have questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Mr. 8 finally got connected. Let me get him.
Morning, man.
Hi, Mr. Ake. I'm so glad to hear your voice.
How you doing?
I'm okay. Listen, I know you've been like struggling, and I think it probably had a little bit to do with your building, because that happens. And I could see with the hard hat and everything what was maybe going on. The prosecutor, you have a meeting with him, and I had to let him go, but I'm working on getting him back in. He actually called you a couple of times, and he left messages. So we're all trying to get to the same place. Okay. Hold
yeah,
on.
and it's absolutely my fault. I completely forgot about this morning. It is my fault.
You actually
I'm
weren't
so
that
sorry.
late. Weren't that late, and that's not the issue. It was that I finally decided that your technology was not going to be able to connect us to you. I've been sending you messages, and we've been calling you. So what I'm gonna do, and what I was gonna do at the end was just kind of like wave at you and go like, sorry, and keep trying to call you. So it looks like we're gonna get there. Hold on just a moment. His number.
Yes, ma'am.
I sent him a text. So, so what I'm going to tell you is just hold tight, because we're going to try to see if we can just go ahead and get it done today. I'm willing to reschedule, but you're in, and now we've got communication, so I want to try to make it happen. Okay. So hold on. He's online, or he's been online until just a few minutes ago, but he's actually working with COVID from home. So, and he doesn't feel great, but he's been doing a good job for us. He's not my employee, but he's the prosecutor, but we need him for our discussion. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to remute you and work with a few other people while we try to get him back into the meeting. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thanks. As we multitask. Mr. Grimes, Eddie Grimes, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. You were late to the meeting, and I really don't know what all you learned from the discussion.
I heard your introduction and directions on the 3 different ways to go through the court. I was expecting my legal counsel to be on the line this morning. That's why I was coming in late.
Hold on. Just pause just hit a pause. I'm trying to figure out what docket we're on and everything, because I don't have you even listed on my docket. So give me a moment to run it down, because I'm sure we can get to the bottom of it. Hold on.
Okay.
But on his note, I have this, but I don't. Stack. And oh yeah, that's why. Okay, all right, Mr. Grimes, let me get you filled in. Okay, don't worry, you got in. It's not an issue. I'm not able to talk about your case because you have a legal representative. She did send in a letter. Because of when she sent it in, it got rescheduled because it was too close in time for the requests that she made. She was actually here yesterday. That's why your name was familiar. And I was like, yeah, he's supposed to be here. But yesterday I was telling her that got rescheduled to August 16th. So her office, I don't know what happened with their communication with you. That's something for you to sort out, but that's why they're not here. She is normally extremely good at keeping up with things. So I'll tell you, I mean, I'm not boasting for her, but I will tell you it's an irregular for.
No, it's just a snafu. It's a handoff between 2 legal firms. I'm typically represented in Louisiana, where I was living. I just moved here, so there was a handoff. So that's the complication with that.
Okay, yeah, it's not a problem, but I'm sorry you're waiting. But just reach out to her office. She, we normally have very good communication with that attorney, and so I'm sure that you will be able to reach out to her and connect. Okay. But we rescheduled you to give the case a little more time for her to develop what she needs to develop to represent you. And the reset date, I can tell you this, is for August 16th at 9. And there'll be a login process. And she's able to just be here for you, but you also are allowed to log in. That's for you and her to discuss together.
Well, I just logged in today just to make sure. I'm a federal employee.
Problem.
I'm a federal employee, and the cost of the ticket is over $150. So I had to report it to my security manager. So
I will tell you, I will tell you, and you're welcome to relay this to your security manager, the Texas legislature has set the bare minimum court costs at 134. And so your fine is like the rest of that 259 is the fine, which I control. So that's a moving target. Okay. So just so you know, but the minimum on every ticket is 134. With a Texas license, or if you're active military, there's a driver safety course option. Your attorney is going to know a lot about that. So you can definitely have that discussion.
That's why I dialed in. I dialed in out of an abundance of caution because I have security clearance, and this one is at bay right now.
Very, very good to know, and no problem. So just reach out to her. Okay, I'm going to let you go. Okay.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so Mr. Ake, we're still working on it. Mr. Bunton, I do have your reductions done. Let me just get your case pulled up and see where we are now. Get you a final bit of information before we start trying to schedule how to get your signature. I never have figured out how to get this system to tell me someone's total overall. So after you make that phone call, the clerk is working with me. We're juggling a little bit. Just give me a moment, everybody. Yeah. 739.96. Okay. And that's without payment plan fees, right? Okay. Mr. Grimes has an attorney and it got reset and he's cool. We got it all down. This is Miss Thigpen and that's the teen court thing and they're going to head on over. Mr. Bunton, can you unmute? Okay.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I was able to get you down from 1334 to 739.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're going to pay almost half of that today. And then you can have a payment plan of $150 a month beginning September 3rd. You can always pay more and just get it done early, but that'll be your minimum.
Yes, ma'am.
I can email the payment plan information to you. If you can print it, sign it, mail it back. Will that work for you?
Okay. But I can call the clerk and make payments to them, right?
You can. I just need your signature on the payment plan agreement.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll email that to you. And once you get it, you can call a clerk and make a payment and email back your signature.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All right. We'll get that to you probably sometime later this morning or potentially just this afternoon. I have to, we're a little backed up, but we're catching up.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
We're going to use the email that we used to set up the meeting. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Mr. Ake, we're trying to get, so I'll tell you that Mr. Matson, our prosecutor, he was logged in until just a few minutes ago, and he's been sick. So we've been trying to reach him. I don't know. I'm willing to give it a few more minutes. I'm also willing to reschedule. What I'll tell you though, is what I traditionally do is just go ahead and schedule for that final meeting here.
Okay.
And we already put that on the schedule, but just a reminder in case you didn't see it in the paperwork, it's September 7th at 2. Oh, wait,
Yes,
here he
ma'am.
is. Wait, we got
Okay.
him. Yeah,
Okay, good.
in the meantime, right?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, here he comes.
All right.
All right, let's let him get all connected up. Mr. Matson, thank you so much. And his audio is connecting. Mr. Matson, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Mr. Ake, finally, I think he stepped out of the building area where he was and was finally able to get the audio working. And he had a lot of apologies, and I told him it's not necessary. But I was just offering him to reschedule, and you logged in. So let me let y'all see if we can have that meeting. And Mr. Matson, thank you for logging back in. I know you're not feeling great.
I was actually on another call walking around my house. That's why I didn't see your
That's
message
fine.
until right now.
No, that's fine. We pestered you. Okay, here we go. Let me let y'all do this meeting. Mr. Ake, we do the meeting outside my hearing because the case is not agreed, it's contested, and I'm not supposed to be privy to those potential facts, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Y'all will come back at the end. It should just slide you over to the meeting.
Okay.
Never had it not do it right away. Should have gone. Okay, I sent the request. So the thing that happens now is that you should have a button somewhere on there that you can, if you can move around on your screen, there should be a button that takes you over. Hopefully that's happening. You've frozen on the screen, so I'm thinking that it's taking you over. It's not happening. He froze on the screen. No, it doesn't show him there. Now it does. Good. Okay. Ryan knows how to stay in that meeting when he needs to. So. Okay. Maybe it'll work. Seems very ethical. You never know when I think that when I hear people and I go, mercy. So I don't believe it. I believe anything now. So, and this person, I think the best course of events, this is Antoine meets, is to just go ahead and order community service. Because then we know whether he's really going to comply or not. We've already done what we were supposed to do. So that's this one. He's a no-show. Oh, let me write that as a no-show. But we can accept his plea and just move forward. He asked to do it, so maybe that will. Why? If it doesn't, then we didn't waste time. But when people do that, I give them a shorter window because they should be calling and checking. And they get 30 days, yeah. So it's kind of like a small rope, a small leash, or however you want to Think about that. I had a question on Bradley, Crystal, when you get a chance, but I want you to, it's not important. We can do it after the meeting, so. I'm gonna look up some things too. Others. Okay. Let me try to move him back over. It took a while for his system to move him to begin with, so we'll just kind of cool our heels. Here he comes. Great. Okay, here we are. And I think everybody can hear me. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Matson, where are we with the case?
One is going to be dismissed, actually.
Okay, and I can fill that out through a Zoom agreement, but question is the reason, is it a compliance or a prosecutor option?
Compliance, it was a misunderstanding with the DMV.
Okay, well, I'll check off compliance per your request. And Mr. Ake, what we'll do is we'll generate that dismissal and we'll email it to the email we used to set up the meeting, okay?
Okay.
Okay, that'll happen sometime today. You'll get that in your email. If not, you can call a clerk and see what happened because it'll be in your file.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have questions?
No, I believe that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You guys have a wonderful day, and I hope you get better, Mr. Messon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Mr. Matson, thank you for your time today. You look like you don't feel terrible, but I'm sure you don't feel great.
Close. Just wait until I can get a negative test before I come back in.
Right. Okay. Well, stay well and use the time to rest if possible. And I hope your cohort there feels better too. All right. Bye-bye, y'all.